Hi there. Did you know that there is a difference in kibble, and that there is not only a difference in brands in kibble, but that there is a difference in production in kibble, so that you have like extruded kibble and cold pressed kibble. Now, I'm here to tell you what the difference is exactly and what might be better for your dog or cat. So please stay tuned for this video. So this is cold pressed kibble. You will notice from this photograph that there is a difference in size in those different pieces of kibble. That is because in the production process, there is no consideration of the correct length or correct signature preferences, how they look, let's say. So what is important in cold pressed kibble, what you want to know is that all the ingredients are heated only to a very low temperature, which means I'm gonna put my cat away a little bit because he's very close to the on and off button of my laptop. The cold press kibble, so all the ingredients are heated to a maximum of 70 degrees Celsius. It depends on brands, whether they would be a little bit higher or not, but the standard might be around 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. What this means is that all the ingredients have their nutritional value and that they keep their nutritional value. So, okay, they're still ultra processed, but the meat and the fruit and vegetables and other stuff that is composing this kibble are kept at, or the nutritional value is still in there, right? So in cold pressed kibble, usually we have a lower percentage of meat. That means, yes, there's a lower percentage of meat, but the nutritional value of that meat is still met, is still there. So that is actually the most important thing to know about the cold pressed kibble. Why isn't there a huge amount of meat in this type of kibble? Well, because then it wouldn't be kibble anymore. It would just be crumbles. It would fall apart. It would not be composed into these little pellets. So that's actually the most important thing to know. The vitamins and minerals are preserved and will be used fully by the dog or cat. There aren't as many brands in cold pressed kibble for cats as there are for dogs. For dogs, it's much more popular, I think. That is because the cold pressed kibble falls apart in little crumbles. Cats don't usually like that texture. So that's why dogs, who aren't that picky, will eat this with gusto, but cats won't because it crumbles, it feels weird in their mouth. So it's important to know that this type of kibble will fall apart into like a pile of sand, you might say. When you finish the bag, you will also see that there is a little bit of crumble in the bottom of the bag, which is normal. And it's still nutritional, so it can be used and it can be fed to the dog or cat. In the digestive system, when it comes into the stomach, very important to know is that also that kibble will fall apart into this pile of sand, which makes it a lot easier to digest, and it's more friendly for the digestive tract. So for a lot of cats and dogs that are very sensitive in their digestive system, this might be a good solution for them. This might be the better kibble to use for them. And this is the crunchy or extruded kibble. You notice that these pieces look exactly the same. They are all quite similar to each other. This is because they are pressed through a mold. What happens with crunchy extruded kibble? All the ingredients are heated to a very high temperature, which makes it like pop. sort of like popcorn, and which gives it a little air, a fluffy, a crunchy, yeah, exterior. It looks like when you break this in half, you will see little bubbles of air. By heating this to a very high temperature, of course, some of the most of the vitamins and minerals will be broken down and are not usable. So that means that if we want to have a complete meal for our dogs or cats, that minerals, oils, or fats and vitamins need to be added. That is why these types of kibble are, they feel like a little fatty, oily. They have oily texture when you have an oily hands when you put it up with your hands. So that is normal because there is like a layer over them. This makes this type of kibble usually more appealing because it has a stronger smell. It has a stronger taste. In extruded kibble, the percentage of meat might be higher than in the cold pressed kibble, but it loses nutritional value. So it's very important to know that. In a lot of extruded and crunchy kibble, you will notice that there's a rice or corn added. Rice and corn aren't of nutritional value to dogs and cats because it's just not part of their natural diet. A cat or a dog will not, even when they're starving, they will not start eating corn. They will not start eating rice. They will search for something else. They will even eat grass before they would go to corn or rice. So it's very important to know that and to look at the ingredient list of this type of kibble. Now, what happens in the digestive tract? So I told you that when you break these pieces of kibble in half, you would see like little pops of air, bubbles of air. Well, in the stomach, all the fluids are added. So when you see that with moisture, if you put them in like water, you will see them swell up. So the whole meal that your dog or cat gets in their bowl, they eat it, and when it's in their stomach, it grows like 2, 3, 4 times the size that they had it in their bowl. That is normal because the bubbles of air, extract get all the moist in there and start to swell up. And that makes it more difficult to digest. So it's very important to know that. And especially for dogs who are prone or have in their breed traits, they are prone to stomach torsions, or they have like this very low rib cage and a very high stomach, and it's tucked in very well. They are at risk for stomach torsions. With this type of kibble, these dogs are even more at risk because when this stomach is working and there's a lot of food in there because it grows like 2, 3, 4 times the size, the stomach is busy needing it. And then it releases a lot of gases, and these gases might cause the stomach to turn. Also, kibble will make that environment in the stomach a lot less acid. And acid, the stomach needs to be more acid of dogs and cats to process meat. If they would be able to catch a rabbit, for example, and they eat the rabbit, they will eat almost everything, also the bones. And that's why their stomach needs to be very acid to digest that, to start to digest that. That, and including that there is like this closure for the stomach that works only when the stomach is acid enough. So if there's enough acid in the stomach, it will close up, and it will not. There won't be a possibility for air to come in and cause the stomach to turn. So fresh meats and like barf diets might be a lot better solution for those big dogs who are prone to stomach torsions. Um, if that stomach stays acid enough, there's just no risk, or a very, very low risk at stomach torsion. So that's very important to know, especially for those large breeds. Unfortunately, we lost a Newfoundland to a stomach torsion, so I know what I'm talking about. So those different types of digestive modules, let's say, is very important to consider when choosing a kibble for your dog or cat. Now, is one better or not? Well, I think that's really up to you. I think cold pressed kibble would be of my preference, just because I have big dogs with deep rib cages and a very tucked in stomach. So yeah, or abdomen. Then I would always go for a cold pressed diet. Plus, there's a better preservation of the nutritional value of the ingredients, which makes it more natural. It also looks more natural if you compare those pictures. The vitamins and minerals are broken down by in those extruded kibbles, so by the heating, and they are added only afterwards. They might be synthetic, so that's not optimal for dogs or cats. The cold pressed diet crumbles, so it's a lot better for sensitive dogs and cats, for dogs and cats with sensitive digestive tracts. If your dog or cat is a fussy eater, then I would suggest going for the extruded kibble. For both, though, it is really important to read the ingredients and the quality, and consider the quality of the ingredients. What does that mean? In an ingredient list on kibbles, on everything, by the way, you will always see the first thing in the ingredient list is the one that is most present in the food. So if that starts with corn or rice, I would throw it out immediately. I wouldn't even consider it. For the rest, if you can make out the ingredients that are used in that kibble, it will most likely be a very natural product. So that might be your go-to. Yeah, if you read the ingredient list and you understand every piece of ingredient that is added in this food, you know what it means, you know what it is, then it's probably quite natural and you can use it. If there are a lot of difficult words that you don't think are still foods, then they're probably not. So I would always go for something that sounds correct and consider that as the most natural feed. So as I said, feed as naturally as possible. I would always go for fresh meat because it's more natural and it is more normal for dogs and cats to eat. If we would only be eating like those little pellets, we would get sick, which is actually also what our cats and dogs do at the moment. If you still want to feed kibble, I totally understand. Combining it with fresh meat is possible if you combine it cleverly. Be smart about it. I would always use fresh meat and cold pressed kibble because the digestive system will be easier for the digestive system to digest that together than with the extruded kibble, because that swells and needs a lot more kneading than fresh meat or cold pressed. Choose a kind of kibble that is composed as naturally as possible. If you consider feeding fresh meats, so like the barf, biologically appropriate raw food, which is absolutely, I would always recommend that. It is more expensive. Yes, I agree, especially at the register, at the cash register, you will pay more. That is definitely true. It is true. But if you see your vet bills going down considerably, then it might be a lot less expensive. I did the calculations once. It's somewhere in my blog still. Right now for our Brooklyn, because she has had several issues, which are now actually completely solved with feeding raw. Um, so raw food is actually really the go-to. Um, I had spent 1,200 euros per year for her raw food last year. So I made that calculation. The year before, so she was still on Kibble, a cold pressed diet. I paid somewhere around 980 euros for 1 year. So for the whole year, yeah. But my vet bills climbed to up to 4,000 euros. And right now, so last year, with the 1,200 euros in food, my vet bill was, I think, only vaccination, so that will be around 200 euros. So that's considerably less. Of course, something can still happen to your dog or cat, which is not controlled by food. But a lot of dogs and cats get sick of what they eat. So please consider that, and consider that corn and all derivatives, and rice and all its derivatives, even potatoes and all their derivatives, are not in the natural diet of dogs and cats. Should you have any questions, they're always welcome via email, or check our website, or in the reactions, of course, under this video. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting pet videos. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in another video. Ciao.